It's time to go balls deep.
The EA Sports College Football Headquarters Podcast.
Hell yeah.
Hey, everybody. It's Anthony Scafacci. It is Alan Gigax. It is another Balls Deep episode. And this is going to be a very special episode.
It is a special
episode. This is going to be a bonus episode that, they don't even have to pay for. Not that they pay for any of the others. But this one's going to be extra free.
On this bonus episode, we're the ones getting boned.
Yeah, we're the ones who got fucked. Anyway, so...
Yeah, we'll get to that part.
Yeah, so we're going to... Speaking of getting fucked, we're going to play Just the Tip.
Oh, there we
And
go.
Today's sponsor for Just the Tip...
now I get it. Is just the tip, like the tip of your dick.
Yeah, that's what it's always been.
Oh,
Yeah, you didn't know that?
I got.
You probably haven't played Just the Tip much.
I got to apologize to my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, today's Just the Tip sponsor is Baphomet, attorney at law, specializing in civil rights and religious overreach. Alan, do you got a tip for us today?
I do have a tip. If you are going to have a contest on your podcast where you put up $100 of your own money to try to get some promotion, try to do a contest that lasts more than like 4 hours.
Yeah.
More than a priapism.
Yeah.
If your contest were a boner, you'd want to have to go to the doctor to get it fixed. There's your tip.
Yeah, that's a very good tip.
Yeah.
So speaking of the contest, we do have a winner.
If your contest were a boner and it wouldn't worry you how long it lasted, that's not a good contest.
Yeah. So today we're gonna poke a little fun at ourselves because we had a podcast contest, and the goal of the contest was to drive listenership, right?
Yeah.
And we did have a small spike.
Yeah, we got a bump in downloads.
Yeah, we did. I mean, but it wasn't exactly what we were going for, and that's it's on us, right? We tried, but we had some tactical errors, right? And made a few mistakes, right? But we do have a winner, and we want to announce that winner right now.
Yes.
Right. So
dude, we can use the reverb for this.
Oh, okay. Do you want to give me some reverb?
Yeah. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready. Our winner is Ty Peckinpah, better known as Ty Scott on the headquarters page. Congratulations, Ty.
All right. I hope that reverb came out cool.
Yeah, I don't know. But so, Al, we had a good idea for this, this
for the contest,
right? And the idea was that we were going to do trivia, and that the trivia would lead our listeners through like a maze of our podcasts,
right,
where they'd have to like figure out these trivia questions. And I thought that our questions were pretty easy, right? I felt like the bar was set pretty low, and we didn't want to set it that high.
Yeah, because we want people to participate.
Yeah, we wanted people to participate, right? And so anyway, I wanted to kind of go through some of the questions, and we'll provide you the answers to anybody who didn't finish it. Now you'll have the answers.
Right. And it's worth noting that if you are only a listener to this podcast and you're not on the Facebook group, that's where this was announced. Because we have 70,000 people on the Facebook group, and we have less than 70,000 listeners.
Yes.
And so we're trying to drive people from there into the podcast.
Yeah. So,
so that was the idea.
Yeah. Recommend it to a friend.
Yeah, please.
So, all right. So we're going to go through now. We originally had more than, I think it was probably close to 50 questions.
Yeah.
But we pared it down to our 36 questions that we, used for the contest.
Right.
Right. And so I want to go through the questions real quick, and we kind of talk about them a little bit. And, we'll get through it pretty quick. But I think some of these are actually they were fun and funny questions, right? So the first question was, what is the name of the store Coach Jelly worked at before he became a college football coach?
And the answer to that is the Jerk and Jerky.
Yeah, the Jerk and Jerky, for those of you who don't know, is a combination truck stop, peep show, and jerky store in Martinsville, West Virginia that I created. And, you could go there and you could get a lot lizard, and then you can, get some beef jerky for the road. And, this way you're relieved and you don't end up, having a car accident.
It's everything a trucker would need.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything.
It was like one-stop shopping for truckers.
Right.
And so, so that was our first question. It was the Jerk and Jerky. All right. Question number 2. What does Coach Toast call Jimbo Fisher?
He calls him a cock flapper.
Yeah, it was in he has Tourette's, And so it was kind of in a tirade. I thought a coach with Tourette's syndrome would be really funny. And so, yeah, he calls Jimbo Fisher a cock flapper in an interview trying to get, a coaching position. And, I don't know where I came up with cock flapper, but it was funny at the time. And
it is funny.
Yeah. You should try call somebody you know that and see how it pans out. All right. Going on to the next question. Which two Quentin Tarantino movies does Anthony reference when he's hunting down Nigerians?
That would be Reservoir Dogs and Inglourious Basterds.
Two amazing movies. And, that I really... Reservoir Dogs wasn't the right answer. Like, in my head, I was thinking of the guy, in Inglourious Basterds.
The Nazi hunter?
Yeah, the Jew hunter.
The Jew hunter, I mean.
Yeah, right? And, played by the great Hans Landa. And that's how I envisioned myself as I was hunting down these Nigerians. I was, you have Nigerians under the floor, don't you?
It's possible that people haven't listened to all the back episodes, so maybe you should explain why you're hunting Nigerians.
Oh, because those motherfuckers, man. I shit you not. First off, they all come on the page, and not one of those motherfuckers has a PlayStation 5 or plays the game.
Right.
So, they just come on there, and they try to just put scam links and try to fuck our members. And, to quote another, nobody fucks our members except Mrs. Wallace. Right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
All right. And so now to the next question. It was, what online game did Anthony work with the developers on and have his ideas implemented into the game?
And that game was City of Heroes.
Yeah, that was from my prior nerddom. I did get in there and did get to, help them out. And
for our younger listeners, explain what City of Heroes was.
It was a massive online
MMO, massive multiplayer online.
Yeah, but with superheroes that were all created by the players, and you could go around Paragon City and beat each other up, and it was a fun game.
And you get superpowers like flight and laser eyes and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was cool, man. It was a fun game. It was pre-Marvel Universe. They kind of missed the boat. If they would have timed that fucker right. That
would have been big money.
Yeah, they went out of business.
It's kind of surprising that Marvel hasn't revitalized something like that.
They probably do, but
maybe they do.
I don't know. So all right, so next, right? What intersection can you find Anthony at if you want to kick my ass?
That would be Twain and Swenson here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, right here in central Las Vegas. If you go there and just hold up a sign, I'll probably see it, and then we can fight.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah, I just fought a guy the other day, actually, about a block and a half from there. Yeah. I won. Yeah, it was great.
Good job.
Yeah. Anyway.
You're one of life's winners.
Yeah, I think we ended that question there. So, what university? I'm looking at a different list. All right, so we're going to our next question, and it was, which university did one of our members hold a charity tournament at?
Okay, I just told him I would remember all the answers, and now I don't remember the answer to this one. Oh, wait, was it Iowa State?
It was Iowa.
Yeah,
they have the Children's Hospital there.
Yeah.
And in the game, they actually wave to the hospital if you use Iowa.
Right. Do you think the people in Iowa care if you confuse Iowa with Iowa State? Probably not.
Oh, I'm sure they do. So this guy, though, his tournament was like super successful.
That's awesome.
And then he actually
was a college football video game tournament, right?
Yeah, he held, and they played the finals on their big jumbo.
The jumbotron, dude,
right?
That's cool.
Yeah, and they raised a lot of money. It was like $10,000 or something like that.
Nice.
Yeah, this guy, he kicked ass. It was a good job.
You can give a lot of kids cancer for that much money.
Yeah. All right. So, in episode 3, the exact number of Nigerians in the group at the time is provided. How many were there?
77.
Yep, there's now 89, so we're failing there.
Yeah, we got to get on that.
Yeah.
If you are in the College Football Headquarters Facebook group and you see a Nigerian, please report that Nigerian to the, because we don't need people getting scammed. Now, look, dude, if it's a Nigerian who's in there because he's a legitimate college football video game fan and plays the game, that's one thing.
There's fucking no chance that's real.
Yeah, but that seems unlikely.
Yeah, dude, we thought about holding another contest where we would put a bounty on them at $2 a head.
But something
and Alan talked me out of it.
The look, it's a bad look.
It's a bad look.
Yeah, it's a bad look.
All right. What nickname did Anthony give to the Washington NFL team?
They were the Clit Commanders. Yeah. And by the way, the podcast, the trivia contest winner, Ty, he initially submitted and he got some answers wrong.
Yeah.
And so he went back to try to correct, and he changed clit commanders, clit as in clitoris, to click, like you click your mouse.
You could click the clitoris too. If
Yeah, you can.
Click the
It's
button.
similar motion. Yeah, you get on that little button and just get, and like the little rolly one too. You can get that action going. But anyway, it is clit commanders as in clitoris, but more apt from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which is a great movie.
Yes. All right.
You are the ones who are the ball lickers.
All right. So, all right. Next question is, what happened to Alan's plastic football Buffalo Bills helmet?
That motherfucker stepped on it.
I did. Redskins won that game. No, they're
They
no
did.
longer the Redskins now.
No,
So sad.
Now
Anyway.
they're the Commanders. And the Bills may be on their way to losing another Super Bowl this year.
Dude, I don't
they're
know.
on
but
pace.
I got Josh Allen on my fucking fantasy team.
Oh, dude.
Dude, that guy went berserker.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's pretty great day.
Yeah, I got to show you that team. It's fucking loaded. Anyway, all right. So, what is the quarterback's name from our member Brendan's Road to Glory series?
I don't remember this.
It was Ted Stryker.
Oh, yeah, Ted Stryker.
From the
That's right.
Airplane
From
movies.
Aeroplane. Yeah,
Yeah.
Airplane. Now, that's a good movie.
Yeah, I love
dude.
that guy's series. He's the one
Yeah.
who also does Alphabet. The
Oh, okay, yeah.
Alphabet series that he's doing where he goes around, he can only take coaching
Oh, yeah,
jobs.
for the next letter in
With
the
the next
alphabet.
letter,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
a good idea. Explain briefly what that is.
So he started a coach named Alphabet who is going around, and he started at like an A school, so like let's say Akron, and then he went from there to a B school, so like Boston College, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And I think he's at Oregon now.
Right, but he has to like legitimately get a job offer from that school
Yes.
in order to move on.
It's a very creative
and he
idea.
can do the name of the city or the name of the college or the name of the mascot.
Yep.
Either one, or the nickname. Yeah, either one.
Like the Plows.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So, what type of cereal did our guest Joe, my brother, get stuck in his nose as a kid?
It was a Kix cereal, kid tested, mother
Yes,
approved.
we told that story, and if anybody wants
Yeah.
to hear it, you can go back to that episode
Yeah.
that Joe is on.
Right.
And it's pretty
Even
funny.
with the sound quality the way it was back then, it's still a pretty fun story.
Yeah.
And
All right.
telling about him peeing in the garbage can when
Yeah.
he was sleepwalking.
Very good stuff.
Dude, those are good stories.
All right. And so Joe, he did like a 4 or 3 episode stretch with us because we
Yeah.
were in Tampa. So, we told a lot of stories about him. So what 90s R&B group is Joe's voice compared to?
Oh, Boys to Men.
Yeah, probably not, but it was what bounced in my head. He is kind of silky smooth though.
He is.
All right, that was pretty good. Okay. How old is Miss Richards?
I don't remember this one. I think it was 78. I'm
I
pretty
think
sure
she
it was
was
78.
78.
Yeah, you know what was tough about this one? So, again, if we had this to do over again, we would do things a little bit different because that question is so random.
Yes.
How old is Miss Richards? How in the world
Who the
do you
fuck
even know?
is Miss
who-
Richards?
Yeah, who is that? Well, we listed the questions and they were essentially in podcast order. That
Yeah.
this is from episode 1, episode 2. So we think that made it a little bit easier on the podcast winner to find this stuff. You just listen to them in order. And Miss Richards is from what turns out is we thought this is the one that was going to blow the doors off,
Oh,
but it
yeah.
turns out this is our least downloaded episode, the one where I shit in the Jack in the Box cup.
Yeah, I have no idea why that dude.
Why
that
don't people
story
want to hear about that?
is so good.
It's a great story.
It is.
And so in the story, Joe says, "Oh, Miss Richards coming up. 78-year-old Miss Richards comes knocking on the door looking for her mail, and I'm back there taking a shit."
Still funny.
Allegedly.
Statute of limitations.
Yeah,
went out
yeah.
on that. Okay. Next question was, what was the name of the coach that got cucked by Cannonballs?
Oh, that is the coach for USC, but I don't remember his name.
Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln Riley, that's it.
Another great story, the Cannonballs, the legend of Cannonballs, and the Cannonballs Chronicles. And yeah, he cucked Lincoln Riley at the Rose Bowl game. It's another good story. All right. What job did Gordon Shumway take to the start of his career with the Idaho Vandals?
Oh, this one I know. He was the equipment manager because I wrote that story.
Yeah, do you remember why he became the equipment manager?
Yeah,
What
he
the
was
big thing?
he was on the run from the alien task force.
No,
you
but
know,
what did he really like about it?
I'm getting to that.
Oh, okay.
And so he tried to go somewhere out of the way where, you keep a low profile. So we wound up in Idaho. And he took the job as the equipment manager so that he could have access to all the lint from the uniforms because he was going to be doing the laundry. But it was terribly disappointing because it turns out they were all these modern synthetic fabrics and they don't produce much lint.
Yeah, he didn't actually get a lot of lint until
No,
he went to
he did
prison
not.
in that
Oh,
story.
dude.
And then and
Yeah.
then we took it from there and we made cotton candy.
That was good times.
It's
Yeah,
good
that
stuff.
story got wild.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what was the name of the fictional recruiting coordinator for the Buffalo Bulls?
It's Coach Camilla, and not only was she responsible for bringing recruits to Buffalo, but she really, if you really dived into it, she's the reason that this page exists.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Because
that's why you couldn't stay on the other page.
Yeah, I couldn't stay on the other page because sooner or later I was going to try to show her butthole to everybody. I'm still looking for it. It's out there somewhere, dude. There's no way the paparazzi hasn't gotten that.
Yeah.
All right. So, in the story Ra, what does Zeus convince Ra to do for him to take his relationship to the next level?
Oh, jump on the bed during a soaking session so they can turn soaking into jump humping.
Yeah, jump humping. One of my favorite parts of that book is that jump humping.
Yeah, that's fun.
Section. It's fucking hilarious, dude. It holds up. As
even while, spoiler alert, while Ra is jumping on the bed, he jizzes into his tunic because it's so hot.
Was that just left out? Maybe you got.
No, it's in there.
Oh, it's in there.
It's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because Zeus asked, after he finishes, because the girlfriend Stacy is like, "Why did you stop?" And Zeus is like, "I'm done." After 5 jumps, and Ra's like, "Yeah, I'm done too."
Nice, I like it.
Yeah, and there's because Ra is the sun god, there's little globs of glowing golden orbs.
Yeah,
all around. Yeah, good times.
All right. What is the name of the establishment where Alan visits to see his first peep show?
Where I came of age, Showgirl Video.
Yeah, anybody who's looking for that story, it is in our episode "Why You Don't Reach Into."
The Change Cup or something like that. Yeah. At a peep show, dude.
Yeah, I highly recommend that. Yeah, it's such a funny story.
Yeah.
All right.
And that place is not in existence anymore. I'm sure we mentioned it then. Not enough disinfectant in the world to rebuild on that location.
They fucking burned it down.
Yeah, that's like the house in Poltergeist. You don't want to build there.
All right. When Coach Silk watches the House Bunny, how many times does he ejaculate?
5 times.
So, this question, obviously it was pretty easy because it's been talked about on the page.
Yeah, lots of
It's been talked about on the podcast.
Ejaculated 5 times has become just a meme, essentially.
Yeah, it's a meme specific to the headquarters page.
Right.
And feel free to use it appropriately. All right. So, in our story, what does Coach Jelly use his old jizz mop for?
Oh, it's a motivational tool. He also uses it to mop up jizz, but those days are behind him.
Yeah,
now it's a motivational tool.
Yeah, now he just shows it to players who aren't pulling their weight in school.
Right.
And, if they don't get their GPA up, then they're going to end up mopping jizz.
Yeah, at the Jerk and Jerky, which is loosely based on Showgirl Video.
Yeah, actually it kind of is.
Yeah, inspired by.
Yeah, definitely
inspired by actual events. Because somebody used a mop in there. That
poor motherfucker, dude. Man. I hope he's coaching football right now.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
Hope he did,
Putting that mop to good use.
Yeah. Okay, in our episode with OG Madden, what town does OG Madden reside in?
Brooklyn.
Yeah, he's a Brooklyn kid. Right, like Jay-Z, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's say that.
Yeah, all right. And then what team did OG Madden choose in our dad's league?
It was a short run, but he was the Toledo Rockets.
Yeah, I think one of the new members that we're recruiting, I think, was interested in taking Toledo. But,
oh, cool.
Yeah, but I think they're going to end up one's taking Army, which will make that interesting.
Oh, nice. Yeah, because we already have somebody as Navy.
And then I think the other one's taking New Mexico State or New Mexico. I can't remember.
Right on. On. I like those teams.
All right. What city does Carmine, our He Held On recipient, hail from?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah, dude, the He Held On Foundation, they are one of our consistent sponsors. They really come through for us. And those stories are inspiring.
They are.
And so, big ups to Carmine. He went out, like a boss.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you remember what Carmine's wish was or his bucket list item?
Dude, I can't remember off the top of my head.
In my head, Carmine was the cyclist.
Was he?
Oh, no, because the cyclist was from Iowa because there was a century ride that the cyclist did. I thought Carmine was the Wheel of Death.
No,
Carmine was a
woman.
lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think Carmine's a dude's name?
Carmine was a dude.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
I'll go with that.
All right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. What branch of the armed forces is our guest in, and where is he currently stationed in the episode Ty was in?
Yeah, that would be he was in the Army and is still in the Army.
Yes.
And he's in Colorado.
Yep. Okay. Right. Same episode.
Yep.
What NES game did Anthony guess was the second best-selling sports game of all time?
That would be Nintendo Dodgeball.
Yeah, so it's funny because that question you kind of argued with me on whether or not it was clear, and I had to go back and
Yeah, we had to
re-listen.
reword it, yeah.
And well, yeah, it was definitely clear. That was my guess that it was Nintendo Dodgeball.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna stick to that. It's still the second best.
Probably.
Yeah, sports game
I
of all
don't have
time.
the stats in front of me to prove you
Yeah,
wrong.
they should reissue it, like do a revamped, and they can get like the Ben Stiller in it, maybe.
Yeah, you are correct until proven otherwise.
Yeah, all right. In Ty's league, what team is the biggest shit talker?
Oregon.
Yeah, and dude,
Easy to talk shit when you got a team like that.
yeah, you got to go from number 2 to number 1 apparently.
Yeah.
All right.
Getting the work done.
Yeah, and Ty himself, what is Ty's favorite college football team?
Oh, that would be the Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah. I mean, maybe having like 3 Ty questions for the winner of the podcast.
Yeah, that is. Oh, dude, that's insider trading right there.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he had an inside leg, but you know what? Anybody could have won.
Yep.
All right. What does Alan reference his friend Chris, who spent time in the ICU? What fictional holiday was Chris celebrating?
Yeah, he was celebrating Cocktoberfest.
Yeah. He's probably
good times. Hey, Chris could have answered all these questions, and he would have had the inside track too. But he doesn't want $100.
No, apparently
he'll earn his money the old-fashioned way during Cocktoberfest.
All right, moving on. What instrument did Blazin' Lakey play in our made-up story?
The instrument, as you call it, was the steel drums. And it's worth noting, you guys, we record these episodes without any editing. I don't edit mainly because I don't know how. And so what you hear is how it goes down in real time. And so when we do our lightning in a bottle episodes, we really are coming up with all that stuff just on the fly and telling that story. And I remember hitting upon steel drums when he was in the band.
Yeah.
And like, oh, what would he play in the band? It was so perfect. Yeah, I'm proud of that moment.
Yeah. Okay, what grade was Blazin' Lakey in when he rolled his first blunt?
Fucking steel drums in Oklahoma.
It is good, man.
But, teacher, I want to play. Fourth grade.
Yeah, fourth grade. You started out young, but you don't make it to the pros without practicing early. All right. So,
steel drums.
What former member of the Howard Stern Show is referenced in the Wives Are Not Amused episode?
That would be Jackie the Joke Man.
Yeah. So most of our listeners probably don't even remember him.
Yeah, they might be too young.
Gone.
Yeah.
Before most of them even would have listened to that show.
Yeah. And even though his monetary profile went up, his public profile definitely diminished once he went to Sirius.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, what rot gut bourbon did Alan really like to drink when he wasn't a huge pussy?
Okay, so this is one of the ones that Ty got wrong when he first submitted because he said Knob Creek. Now, I did very much enjoy Knob Creek before I became a huge pussy and had to stop drinking. But Knob Creek is anything but a rot gut bourbon.
No, that shit's good.
That is good
I don't even really
bourbon.
like bourbon,
Yeah,
and
dude,
I'll drink that.
it's so good. No, the rot gut bourbon that I liked was Evan Williams.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Available for about a third of the price of Knob Creek.
Yeah, go get yours today.
Dude.
All right. What is the unusual tradition featured at Jelly's Snot Knockin' Barbecue?
That would
one
be
of
the
our sponsors.
the pregame victory dessert.
Yep. You can order that shit as if you've already finished.
Dude. One of these days, we got to have an episode about touts. Or, just talk about touts.
That would be good. Yeah.
They must have been nationwide, not just here in Vegas on the radio.
I guarantee those Las Vegas...
like the Stardust line or whatever.
Yeah,
it was probably broadcast
all over the place on a Sunday.
Easy Sports Radio.
Yeah, 5 a.m. or whatever.
And they'd come on. You can bet this game like it's already been played. Call our 800 number. We got the pick.
Oh, those motherfuckers.
Dude.
Yeah, I win 88% of my games. The fuck you do. Nobody does.
Right.
Anyway, what team is Alan using in his offline dynasty?
New Mexico State, and it's going pretty well. Dude, this season, we finally really turned the corner. And recruiting, it's funny because now that we always play with crappy teams, and now that this team is good, we'll have to have another episode about it because everything's gotten so much easier. And like the tips for recruiting early on, none of those apply when you have a good team.
Oh, yeah.
And everything is so easy. When your team is good, oh my God. Yeah. Dude, I have to like stop spending on my recruits because I don't even need them anymore.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Yeah. What was the previous best record for rolling a car that Mr. Fitzsimmons broke?
9. This is another he held on bucket list, person.
Yeah.
And yeah, he took his car up Pikes Peak and rolled it 14 times. 17 times. 17 times, breaking the previous record. That's right, because prime numbers are funnier. Yeah.
Is that how you came up with that?
That's exactly how.
Okay. What team got punished for running up the score by the select talent crew?
Is this another Ty question?
No, this was a select talent.
No, that's right. Ty is, that's
Matthew
right.
Olson. Yep. Those guys.
Notre Dame.
Yep. All right. And finally, the last question. What job title does Alan suggest for AJ's
wife, yeah. That would be the head of sandwich operations.
Dude, that was pretty goddamn funny.
That was a good line, yeah. All
right. So, this is a very special episode. We just wanted to go through it, and we are going to thank our final sponsor, and then we're going to get out of here pretty quick. Alan, who is today's sponsor?
I don't have it yet. Keep talking.
You don't have it? Oh, well, what the hell did I hire you for?
Dude, I was looking at the answers to the trivia contest.
Oh, so you didn't think about how we're going to get paid.
The Dildonic Institute.
Yeah, well, here we go. I do love them.
Yes. The Dildonic Institute of Southern Nevada has been stretching the limits of science since 1963, probing deeply into the human sensory experience. From our humble beginnings in a garage in Pahrump, the dream began with little more than a repurposed tube sock and a hand crank egg beater. Now we're proud to offer the very latest in Dildonic technology. Visit our Las Vegas campus for a free tour of the laboratory or to become a part of our exciting clinical trials. You're guaranteed to come again.
All right. For Alan Gigax, I am Anthony Scafacci, and this is your bonus episode of the Balls Deep Podcast. We are